Hello, my friend. Take a moment. Just breathe. Feel the air coming in and going out. Feel your body here, right now. You are safe, you are calm, and you are ready for a new story. Maybe you are sitting in your favorite chair. Maybe you are drinking tea. Maybe you are dreaming of faraway places, of islands, of oceans, of mysteries waiting to be discovered. Wherever you are, welcome. This time is yours. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine an island, small, green, in the middle of a great blue ocean. The nearest land is thousands of miles away. You are completely alone. Now imagine walking on this island. You walk through grass. You pass trees. And then you stop. In front of you is something impossible. A giant. A giant made of stone. It is as tall as a house. It has a long face, a strong jaw, deep eyes. It looks at you without seeing. It has stood here for hundreds of years. You look around. There is another giant, and another, and another. Hundreds of them. Some standing, some fallen, some still half carved into the rock of the island. These are the moai, the famous statues of Easter Island. For hundreds of years, people have looked at these statues and wondered, who made them? How did they move such heavy stones? And why? Why are so many of them lying on the ground, broken and forgotten? The story of Easter Island is not just a story about statues. It is a story about people, about success, about failure, about a civilization that grew too fast and destroyed itself. And it has a dark secret, a secret that the statues cannot tell. So sit back, relax, and keep that warm cup close. This is the dark secret behind Easter Island's fallen giants. Our story begins more than 1,000 years ago. The year is around 1200 AD. A small group of people are traveling across the Pacific Ocean. They are in canoes, long boats made from trees. They have sailed for weeks, maybe months. They have no maps, no compass. They just follow the stars. These people are Polynesians. They are some of the greatest travelers in human history. They sailed across the biggest ocean on Earth, finding small islands in the middle of nowhere. One day, they find an island. It is small, only about 160 square kilometers, about the size of a small city, but it is beautiful, green, full of trees, birds everywhere. The water is full of fish. They call it Tepito o Tehenua. It means the center of the world. We call it Easter Island. A Dutch explorer found it on Easter Sunday in 1722. That is how it got its name. The people who came to this island were lucky. They had everything they needed: trees for building houses and boats, birds for food, fish from the sea. The soil was good for growing sweet potatoes and bananas. They built villages. They had children. They made a new life. And they started to carve statues. Why did they carve statues? For the people of Easter Island, the statues were not just art. They were sacred. They were moai, and they represented important ancestors. The people believed that their ancestors watched over them. They brought good luck. They brought rain. They brought food. The statues were a way to honor these ancestors, to keep them close. The chiefs and important people wanted statues for themselves. When a chief died, the people carved a moai in his image. They put it on a platform. The ancestor's spirit would live in the statue and protect the village. At first, the statues were small, the size of a person. Then they got bigger and bigger and bigger. The people of Easter Island began to compete. Each clan wanted a bigger statue than the others. They wanted to show that their ancestors were more powerful, that their clan was stronger. Soon, the statues were enormous. The tallest one ever built was more than 10 meters high. That is, as tall as 3 or 4 people standing on top of each other. It weighed more than 80 tons, as heavy as 40 cars. How did they move these giants? This is one of the greatest mysteries of Easter Island. The people had no wheels, no horses, no machines. They only had their hands, ropes made from tree bark and wooden logs. Scientists believe they used a method called walking. They tied ropes around the statue. Many people pulled from one side, then the other. The statue would rock back and forth. Left, right, left, right. Slowly, it would walk forward. They also used logs as rollers. They put wooden logs under the statue and rolled it across the ground. Both methods needed trees, lots and lots of trees. And this is where the dark secret begins. For hundreds of years, the people of Easter Island carved statues. They moved them across the island. They put them on platforms. Their civilization grew. At its peak, there were more than 10,000 people living on the island. That is a lot for such a small place. And they were cutting down trees, many trees, every day. They cut trees to make ropes from the bark. They cut trees to make rollers for moving statues. They cut trees to build houses. They cut trees to make boats for fishing. They cut trees for firewood. The island was covered in palm trees, big, beautiful trees. But slowly, the trees began to disappear. At first, nobody noticed. The island was still green. There were still birds. The fish were still there. But then, something happened. Without trees, the soil began to change. Tree roots hold the soil together. Without roots, the rain washed the good soil away. The ground became hard and dry. Plants stopped growing well. Without trees, there was less wood for boats. People could not fish as easily. They could not travel as far. Without trees, there was less food for the birds. The birds left, or they died. The island began to die. But the people did not stop carving statues. They did not stop competing. They did not stop trying to be better than their neighbors. They kept cutting trees, kept moving statues, kept believing that bigger statues would bring them luck. They did not see that they were destroying themselves. By the year 1600, something terrible had happened. The trees were almost all gone. The island was no longer green. It was dry, empty grassland. Without trees, there was no wood for boats, no wood for houses, no wood for moving statues. The people could not fish. They could not grow food easily. There was less and less to eat. And then the fighting began. When food is scarce, people become desperate. The different clans on the island began to blame each other. They fought over land. They fought over food. They fought over whose ancestors were more powerful. They started to push over each other's statues. Think about that. For hundreds of years, the statues were sacred. They represented ancestors. They were the most important things in the world. Now, people were pushing them down, destroying them, showing that their enemies' ancestors had no power. Statue after statue fell. The giants that had taken so long to carve, so long to move, so long to build, they lay broken on the ground. This was the beginning of the end. By the time Europeans arrived in 1722, the island was a very different place. The Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen saw an island with no trees. He saw people living in poor houses. He saw statues lying everywhere, some standing, but many fallen. The people were thin. They had few tools. They had no boats. They looked at the statues and maybe remembered a different time, a better time. Roggeveen wrote in his journal, "These statues made us wonder. How did these people, with no ropes, no trees, no machines, build such things? He did not know that the trees were once there. He did not know that the people had cut them all down. Over the next 100 years, more Europeans came. They brought disease. They took people as slaves. They killed others. By 1877, only about 110 people lived on Easter Island. The great civilization was gone. The statues remained, silent witnesses to a people who had destroyed themselves. So what is the dark secret of Easter Island? It is not a secret about magic. It is not about aliens, as some people have guessed. The dark secret is this. The people of Easter Island destroyed their own home. They cut down all their trees. They used up all their resources. They kept competing, kept building bigger statues, kept thinking that they would be saved. And by the time they realized what they had done, it was too late. Return. Their world had ended, and they had done it themselves. Some scientists call Easter Island a cautionary tale. It is a warning about what happens when people take too much from the land, when they do not think about tomorrow, when they care more about competing than about surviving. The fallen giants of Easter Island are not just statues. They are a message from the past to the future. A message that says, be careful, take care of your home, or one day, everything you built will fall. Today, Easter Island belongs to Chile. It is a special place, a protected place. People still live there. Tourists come from all over the world to see the moai. Some of the statues have been put back up. They stand again, looking out over the island. But many still lie on the ground, fallen, broken, silent. When you look at them, you can almost hear them whispering. They whisper about a people who once had everything, who built amazing things, who sailed across the ocean and found a new home. And then, slowly, they whisper about how it all went wrong. When you learn English, you are building something too. You are building a new skill, a new way to communicate, a new part of yourself. But building takes time. It takes patience. It takes care. You cannot cut down all your trees at once. You cannot use all your energy in one day. You have to think about tomorrow, about next week, about next year. The people of Easter Island forgot this. They wanted everything now. Bigger statues, more power, more glory. And in the end, they had nothing. Your English journey is different. You can go slowly. You can take care of yourself. You can enjoy each step. Because the goal is not to finish fast. The goal is to build something that lasts. Something that will still be standing, even after many years. Just like the moai, if you take care of them. Thank you for listening to this story today. I hope you enjoyed this journey to Easter Island. I hope it helped you with your English learning too. If you like this story, please give it a like. It helps more people find our channel. If you want to hear more stories like this about history, about mysteries, about the secrets of the world, please subscribe. Your support helps us create more content for your English journey. And if you have ideas for other stories, please leave a comment below. I would love to know what you want to learn next. Until next time, my friend, keep learning, keep building, and remember, take care of your world, the world outside, and the world inside you. Because everything you build for tomorrow. See you soon.